Hey guys, we made it another year. Another 365 days, bruh. Happy New Year's, y'all. Happy New Year's to you all, bruh. 2025 was fucking nuts. The memes were trash. But 2026 is gonna be my year, bitch. I will pierce the fucking heavens. Let's go. Everyone here will accomplish their goals this year. Your New Year's resolution, unless it's to be like the next Hitler or some shit, you will do it. I believe in y'all. Y'all are great. I love y'all, bruh. Every single one watching this video. Watch a clans member see this video. Anyway, Mashle, the strongest wizard. Fellas, I love me some Mashle. It is one of my favorite animes of all time. Big Mash is so goated. Oh, I love this. I love this show. And we're gonna watch this. This is by Key. I don't know what to expect from this, but I just gotta see it. It's Big Mashle, bruh. So let's not waste any time. This chunk is an hour long, and I'm gonna make it like 2 hours.
I know Thanksgiving isn't until tomorrow, but here's an early meal. Throw this back on the family TV. Eat that
Okay.
turkey, eat that ham. And
I paused. Why did it just decide to play again? And what is this face?
experience peak. So they tell us
Oh yeah, this is peak.
that in this world, if you can't use magic, God doesn't like you. Cause it's
yeah, it's basically Harry Potter with racism mixed with a bit of Black Clover and One Punch Man.
It's a God-given gift, and only the ones that he loves truly get magic. And that's when we see this dude working out. Clearly, we can already use context clues to tell this dude does not have magic. But hold on, y'all are probably like, yo, why watch
Dude, he got me into cream puffs, bruh. Cream puffs are so peak.
this when you could watch Black Clover? I mean, it's the same thing.
No. Listen, Black Clover, it's fine in its own right. But this is some different shit.
No magic. Why watch this when you could watch Wistoria? I mean, it's the same thing, but good animation. No magic. And that's when we see Mashle walking and tear the door straight off the hinges. Comedic relief, One Punch Man, but Black Clover edition. But I digress, let's lock back in. But this guy right here is Mash's dad, and he's like, I gotta run some errands. You need some more cream puffs? I got you. But he tells Mashle the one rule: while I'm gone, you stay in this house. If you leave, I'm disowning you. I'm leaving you where I found you. He does not say that. I wanted to add it. And the second,
yeah, he's a chill father. I shout out to Mash's father, bruh. He's goated for real.
that man walks out the door, Mashle looks at a piece of paper, and he's gone. He's in the city with a hood on his head.
Bruh, I'd do the same. Tell me there's some new, like, fucking chicken sandwich at, like, Wendy's. And, like, I'm running the 4-4 to try it, bruh. I do not care.
But while Mash is in the city, he ends up smelling the cream puff.
I need a license.
When being kicked up from the bakery. Gets so excited he crushes the coins in his hand. But then he shows us where all his weight training goes because he been
in Albion. No matter where you go,
I don't care about Albion. I keep getting this fucking ad, but I kind of don't hate it, so I'm never gonna block it.
Accompany you on your journey.
Sends each coin back to its original.
Yeah, he fucking bent them.
State. Takes the cream puffs and leaves the worker in shock. I mean, I'd be in shock too. That's like trying to do a pull-up on a wood structure with 1 centimeter of width. Your fingers just can't do that. But then his hood gets blown off of his head, and the crowd in the city notices that he doesn't have a mark, meaning he can't use magic. And
here comes the racism part.
And we cut to a jail cell, and this guy's listening to the news broadcast saying a guy named Rain Ames has become the next divine visionary, and he's only a second year in high school. And after the warden picks up his wand, starts walking over to the prisoner like he's about to do some freaky things to him. He gets a phone call that there's a person in the city who doesn't have a mark. We then see Mash run into a police officer getting his cream puff all over his shirt. Police officer starts getting heated. Mash tears his uniform off, saying, I'll take it to the cleaner.
This was crazy disrespectful, bruh. Funniest part is that Mash was like genuinely trying to help this guy.
for you free of charge. I got you. But that's when the warden pulls up. He sees that Mash has no mark, saying, look at this dude just eating a cream puff in my presence. You're coming to the slammer with me, buddy. But Mash's dad comes in clutch. He grabs him and they run all the way back home. Mash's dad tries to scold Mash, but he just can't get through, and he says, yeah, for your punishment, go work out. That's really only a reward for Mash. He's just getting stronger. But that
Yeah, you're just making my man stronger, and my man's is already like crazy strong.
galaxy looking bird that the warden sent out from before is peering into their house. They've tracked him down. Mash decides it's time to go back home, but he can't decide if he has to push or pull the door. But that's when he hears the voices. Inside, his dad is getting pieced up. They keep telling him, yo, if you just tell us where Mashle is, we'll let you go, bro. We don't have to do this right now. You could be a free man right now. And we get a bit of his backstory, saying from a kid, he was always a failure. He failed at everything up until adulthood. And he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm not finna fail anymore. There's one thing I'm gonna succeed at, and he failed at it because he sees a baby crying behind him and he decides to adopt him. That baby was Mash. So
yeah, bro. Bro, shout out to Mash's dad, bro. He's goated.
He gets to shout and telling Mash to run, and the warden's like, I've had enough. It's up for you. He aims at one.
Spoilers, this guy becomes their friend afterwards. By the way, this is equivalent of like shooting a bazooka at a homeless person.
At him, but when one of the guards walks to the door, Mash busts
Ooh,
hits him with a punch, sending him
good
outside
move.
of the house into the forest. The big dude from before, he tears his
He did not need to do this again, bro.
shirt clean off his body, hits him with a slap,
Bitch, good move, bitch.
Sending him across the room,
Boom.
leaving his cheeks red, looking like he's a squirrel stuffing nuts in the
looking like a squirrel, bruh. Slap game, bro. Plastic.
his mouth for the winter, and low key, no, it's not even paused because I said squirrel. And Mash tells the warden, you mess with my family, buddy, I'm sending you down to hell. But the
that's my goat, bruh. Talk that talk.
ups his wand. Big dude gets to glazer, saying he used this move to scare away a dragon. You're cooked, buddy. Mashle slaps that straight to the
he just fucking
ground. He
slaps
shoots
it.
another one. Mashle slaps it in his direction as a warning shot, letting him know, yo, that could have taken your head off, but I decided to have it destroy the house even more. Shoots another attack at him. He gets down like he's Hinata from Haikyuu, and he bumps that junk like a volleyball. Starts juggling like he's at the circus.
He juggles some shit. Bro, imagine being this guy right here. You're getting styled on by like someone that you think that God doesn't smile upon. Someone that would logically shouldn't be alive right now. And he's doing y'all by this. Bro.
Like Neymar Jr.
You'll never catch me being young like this.
That's his dad. Hey, can I borrow your wand? Warden ups a shield thinking it's gonna protect him, saying, yo, these the walls of Jericho. They not gonna fall. He must have not read Joshua, because Mashle takes that wand and throws it straight through his barrier. Took all the budget in the anime away from his face. Left him with the default expression. Looks like something you could get in the Roblox store. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna cut you a deal. You're pretty strong. We'll leave you alone if you become a divine visionary. Mashle's like, bet. I got you. So we see
That's my goat, bruh.
Mash at the magic school, and before the entrance exam begins, he's getting that workout and he can't miss a day. The instructor sees this and he's like, yo, why is a slacker here? Like, no, you should not be working out. You should be reading a book.
Okay, genuinely though. Okay, like, why do weights exist? Is what I was gonna say, but like, I guess it would still make sense to like train your physical body. But like, when there's magic, I don't see much of a point. So I assume that they're like really cheap. But with that being said, why is there some that are just that big? I don't know, bruh.
You should be getting smarter. Working out is insane. I mean, that just shows how lazy.
That's my goat, bro. He's doing the fucking. Look at this. This is peak aura right here.
You are. But Mash's dad and the warden we saw from before are there at
yeah, they're just kind of chilling together for the rest of the show.
Mash's exam, trying to be sneaky, and they're not being.
Oh, hold on. My alarm's going off.
So the exam begins, and the first test is to get the words on your paper lined up.
Oh, the way he does this is so fucking awesome.
Spell going on. Obviously, as Mash can't use magic, he's like, yo, can y'all stop moving for me? He then decides to break the pin and says, I won't ask again. The words line up perfectly.
They fucking line up perfectly. It is awesome.
Person to pass the test. And for the next few tests, he's moving the border with his thumb because he can't use magic, running on water with sheer strength because he can't use magic, and he's just flying through. The teacher,
he is Jesus,
said, yo, can this dude fail already? I'm not trying to let this guy join our school. But for their
Why
final
not?
test, they have to find...
Why not, you bitch? Like, you know, he has the most creative solutions of all time to these bullshit challenges. Like, you're a fucking loser.
way out of this maze when it's riddled with traps and monsters. Mash meets with this girl named Lemon, and she's like, let's pair up. We can get out to...
Lemon's kind of annoying. I ain't gonna hold you. Lemon is like the one L that this anime takes, frankly.
Together, two minds are better than one. But then she backdoors Mash, locks him up, says those are unbreakable. You better stay...
Yeah, this was kind of a bitch move, but yeah, she gets better.
Hey there. And yo, this is elite ball knowledge right here. Do y'all remember a DS? Obviously, y'all remember a DS, but do y'all remember the app Flipnote? And there was a little animation.
Yeah.
And there was one that was like, I can break these cause you can't break. Flipnote was so tough, bro.
What? Bruh, I only know Let's Go Gambling, Rhombus, and some, like, random fight animations I've seen. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Face Raiders too, but let's move on. Mash breaks out of the cuffs, and after he gets out of the way, leaves her standing there, a giant sphinx from Clover RPG pulls up to attack her. You only know if you have access. Wave 1, testing the Clover RPG, those sphinxes and eldritch that give you the riddles. Oh my goodness.
I have no clue what Clover RPG is, my bad.
Elite ball knowledge too, but Mash pulls back up and he one-taps it.
Yeah, this is why Mash is the GOAT. Even though she was kind of a bitch and like let him into a trap, he still pulled up. He's a better man than me. He's not gonna let no one die on his watch.
Man's like, yo, how are we gonna get out of here? We're cooked. Mash picks her up and breaks through each and every single wall of the maze. Every student's like, yo, he cheated. He shouldn't be allowed to be here. The professor's saying the same thing. Lemon takes the blame and tells everybody that the professor told her to be a burden to Mash to make sure he doesn't pass. Then the professor says, I'ma just get you out of here myself. We do not need trash like you here. Mash breaks his wand.
Mash breaks his fucking wand. I love it when he humbles people.
Or things can...
Like, sometimes in, like, anime that are, like, all about humbling bullies and shit, sometimes it can feel like they aren't doing enough. Like, bro, why are you just standing there letting them run their mouth? Fucking beat their ass already. Mash gets straight to the fucking point. He will break your wand, he will beat the shit out of you, and then he will feed you cream puffs afterwards. Because that is literally the only thing he can make.
Escalate any further, the headmaster pulls up, forcibly interpearls Mash into a different building.
Yo.
Why are you at this school? He says for peace. Why did you save that girl without knowing if the Sphinx was stronger than you? Or if you couldn't break the walls in time?
Cause he's the GOAT, bruh. He's the GOAT. Quit pressing my man.
Ash says because he wanted to. And then the headmaster says, what will you do if you take on somebody stronger than you? The headmaster summons this giant magical puppet. It takes the soul from the person closest to Mash, and it took the soul of his dad. He said, if this spear stabs through the puppet, your dad's dead, buddy. Mash tries to punch it, but he's too weak to break through it. So he catches it 2 hands, lets it go through both of them, and he says, in a battle of endurance, I'ma win this. You can't hold this spell up forever, so I'ma just hold it right here until you run out of magic. The headmaster's like, hold on. I ain't say take it that far. He takes the spell away. Then Mash says, to answer your question earlier, if I had to fight you, I just beat the stuffing out of you with my fist. At least he's standing on business.
That's my GOAT, bruh. Stand on 10 toes.
School starts. He has to use magic to get a lock open. He breaks it open with his hands. He starts getting scolded. And that's when we meet another main character named Finn Ames.
Finn. I like Finn. I can't pretend I don't like Finn. But he is kind of useless.
Related to the dude who became a divine visionary that we saw earlier.
This guy's tough as fuck, by the way. He really likes bunnies.
Mash is introducing himself and introducing his muscles as well. Kevin and Mike for the pecs. He names all of his...
He named all his fucking muscles, and it's awesome.
Muscles. But then Finn tells him to become a divine visionary.
Bro, what?
Lily's catering.
Fuck off. I'm watching Peak right now. I'm re-experiencing the peak that was Mashle. Why didn't it go away?
You need good grades. You need to get those coins. And Mash is like, yeah, I'm cooked. So Mash's second day of school starts. Rise and shine. He's like, yo, Finn, I left my broom at home. I never had one to begin with. And I brought this thinking it was a broom. So you got me, right? And in class, he can't
Bruh.
even get his broom to fly. This school bully walks over to him saying,
Bruh.
yo, are we seeing this right now? This dude can't even get his broom to fly. How's he in the school? Mash stomps on the ground, and the shockwave send the broom into his hand. He says fly after he catches it. School bully saying he's cheating, but then he's like, I'll make a bet with you. If you can beat me in this broom race, I have to do what you say for a year. But if I beat you, you have to do what I say for a year. The teacher counts
Dude, y'all are not prepared.
on the broom race, and
Y'all
Mash
are not
flashed
prepared.
backs to the
He's
end. But
fucking-
as we know, Mash obviously can't fly, and Finn saw everything that happened. This man Mash threw the broom, like a javelin,
ran
jumped
in midair, and
the
landed
broom.
on
was
it.
floating from the velocity that the broom was moving at. He set a new
Ooh,
world record
yes.
with this speed, and that's when we
It's
see
so
the
goated,
headmaster
bruh.
of school bullies, Lloyd Cavill. He walks over. He's like, meet me
Oh,
here
this
after
bitch.
school. We gotta talk. And we find out that he sews the other bully's mouth shut and beats him because he couldn't get a simple job done. And Mash doesn't meet him after school. And Finn tells Mash to watch out because Cavill's close with the vice president. He can get you out the school in a heartbeat. And Finn is kind of Cavill's dog. He's messing with Mashle, tearing up his books, tearing up all his
Damn.
stuff. Till
Damn.
Cavill says, yo, burn all of his clothes. Finn's like, nah, I'm not doing that. So he gets strung up and beaten. Bully. But while Mash is looking for him, he
Bitch.
walks up and sees Finn in this state. Mash walks over to Finn. He's like, here, I don't have any big pots. I just have a mini for you. Cavill's like, I'm having lunch with the vice president. You want to get in with it? You can say whatever you want to say to him. I got connections. Mash walks over, grabs Cavill by his head, and slams him
bitch!
straight into the ground. This put a smile on my face, ear to ear.
Straight
The
to
vice president
business.
pulls up
This
to
is
the
what I'm
table. I'm about to
talking
teach you
about.
a lesson. Knee to the face.
Bitch!
Holding his face like a toddler, crying, saying, yo, Cavill's friends, give me a med kit, some bandy, some medmits. I don't care. But it's already too late. Mash dug out a hole for him. Grabs him,
Dug out a hole,
burying
puts
like a
him in
dog
it,
digging up a hole. I
and
know you've seen your
buries
dog
him
outside and hit
alive.
this move. That's how Mash is moving. And Mash gets called.
Match moves, bruh. Mash is the king of fucking disrespect, bro. That's my
The
guy.
headmaster's office. But he gets away, so you know we ballin'. Mash didn't get in
Yeah, we ballin'.
trouble. The
Yeah, I fuck with the principal.
headmaster says, you did something very
Or
wrong.
headmaster.
But I don't like seeing people in power win, so you know what? You're good with me. Just become a divine visionary, buddy. But after Mash attacked these two and got away with it, he low-key became a little popular. And that's when this
Yeah.
guy named Tom pulls up on him. He's like, I've seen you fly that broom. You got a world record. You got to join our broom team. And this is basically
Nice.
just Quidditch from Harry Potter. I think
Yeah.
that's how you pronounce it. And obviously,
Yeah,
again,
it
we
is
know Mash
basically
can't
just Harry
fly. So
Potter.
what does he do? Starts kicking his legs at Mach
Flutter jump moments. This is peak.
speed. Moving like some of y'all that can't swim, hitting that doggy paddle. I know that's what your feet look like underwater. We can't see it, but we know it's looking like that. And he's throwing the ball so hard using his power that it's curving back to him. And Mash ends up breaking another world record by himself. And that's when we see this blue-haired dude reading the newspaper about Mash saying he's gonna be next. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if Mash thinks that way or not, but this super senior needs to stay away. And then we
Yeah.
see Mash and his friends in class. But then the blue-haired dude walks up again saying, having fun? Let me join in.
Okay, I'm gonna need to explain why I like this guy in a bit.
Everybody's all scared. They play a scary background
Like, there's gonna be something really weird regarding him at first, but I can explain it.
track, and Mash says, nah, it's not fun. But then he traps Mash's friends and says, if you want them back, meet me at the owl hut in the forest. He ender pearls away. And obviously Mash is there in a heartbeat. And Lance tells him, let's make a bet. If you win, you get these coins and your friends back. But if I win, I get your coins. And they don't really say what happens to the friends. We also see that Lance has
Damn.
2 marks, meaning he's stronger than somebody with 1. I mean, duh. Lance uses
Yeah.
his magic to level out a fighting arena for him and Mash. And Mash dashes in for an attack, but he gets slammed straight to the ground. Lance says, look at you crawling on the ground. You gotta stand up to fight me, buddy. And Mash says, I don't need to stand to fight you. He pulls a root out the ground, making
Rules
Lance
of
hop
root.
back. He says, look at you crawling on the ground. Mash then dashes
Oh,
faster
fuck.
than before. He uses his gravity magic, but Mash plants his foot in and barely misses his punch. Mash turns around and barely misses his next one, but he knocks off the
Good.
pendant that Lance carries around. Yo, you dropped this. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. You're cooked. Yo, bro, can we put a rain check on this? I gotta call the cops.
Yeah, he calls him a lolicon, and they said to call the cops. This anime is goated. It makes fun of lolicons. But anyway, explanation now. That's his sister. I know this makes it sound worse, but genuinely, I don't really interpret his love for his sister as, like, the weird kind of love. It genuinely just seems like he just really, really cares about his... I'm sure they'll explain it, but, like, he just really cares about his sister. And I don't think it's in that way. Like, he says he's a sister con, but I'm pretty sure that's just a joke.
Oh, I don't have a Lolita complex. My brother, I got me a Alabama complex.
Yeah.
Bro, that's not better. But then
Nope.
Lance tells him, the reason I need these coins, the reason I want to become a divine visionary is my sister. I'll do anything if it's for my sister. So he's kind of like Gaucho, however you say dude's name from Black Clover, but a little better. I don't know. Bro.
He's much better, dude. Don't get it twisted, bruh. Don't get it fucking twisted. The anime, fucking, this is like the one time that fuck. He's fine, dude. He just cares about his sister, bruh. It's not that weird. Like, the anime treats it weird because it's funny to treat it weird.
They both weird. But then
Nuh-uh.
he decides he's gonna drop Mash's friends off the edge of the cliff.
Also, he's got aura, so...
And we see a bit of his backstory. His sister's dying. Not really dying.
Yeah?
She's just about to lose her mark and she's gonna have no magic. And they're saying the minute that happens in 5 years, we're turning her into the bureau. We do not care. And
Bruh, what a fucking... L parents, bruh.
he wants to become a divine visionary disaber. Boom, that's his backstory. Mashle takes off his clothes. You see him folded up on the side. How did he even
Fold them up.
have the time to do this? He gets down. He says
'Cause he's
quadriceps magic. Big bang dash, and he takes off
Boom!
a slow-mo, then he's down that mountain in a heartbeat. Flash steps and appears behind Lance, but Lance gave him a fake bottle.
Aura, Cuddy.
He throws that junk out the way, walks up to Lance, he flash steps, hits him
Flash
with, I don't
steps.
even know what this is, but takes the real bottle from him and says this fight is stupid. We're done here. And Lance is like, alright, you kinda right. But as he walks away, he gives him his 2 coins, and Mash saves the day. We see this character,
That's my
red
guy.
hair, walking through looking like a threat.
Oh, him. He's so funny, dude.
I mean, this guy looks like he's really about that action, huh? And then we see
Yeah.
another group of people who are very obviously villains, and they're from the Lang school saying Adler does not have anybody fit to be a divine visionary, but we do. So take every coin you see from all of those Adler bums and bring it to me. But the students from Adler and the students from Lang were called to the forest to get gold coins, bronze coins, silver coins, whatever, from all the scorpions in the forest. But that's when that red-haired dude pulls up talking about he's the main character, Mash is the side character. He sees Lemon pull up and spits on Mash because he's pulling and he can't. But that's when we see a dude with white hair pull up. He hits Mash.
Oh, this goober. Yeah, I remember him.
Mash clean in the gut saying, you think you're
Damn.
a hot shot, huh? Mash looks up at him like, yo, you really think that junk hurt me? But then they're out in the forest. Mash and Dot end up linking up in the forest and they hear a girl screaming for help. Dot hits the wizard with an explosion and I don't know how he was still standing after this, how he survived, how he wasn't blown to pieces. This is when we should have known Dot was a fraud because he did basically no damage. But the girl's using her magic to charm Dot and she's just trying with Mashle, but Mash is just like, yeah, no, I'm not that type of dude.
My man Mash ain't not gonna fall for... Fuck, how do I... Ain't
Not easy. I'm not going. And the white-haired dude from before pulls up and attacks. Dot's like, don't worry, I got this on locks. I got this for the girl in the back. Watch this. Machine gun explosion. He's hitting him with rapid fire. He says, oi, 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 before he lets off his next attack. I'm not lying. This had to be a reference to Bakugo. I originally watched Mashle
Probably.
in sub, but I download the episodes in dub so I can kind of know what's going on when I rewatch the episode. Low-key a little yap, but he said oi, oi, oi in the dub. But it does no damage. I mean, he shielded himself. He hits Dot in the gut. Knocks Mash's
Damn.
cream puff out of his hand.
And just like that, he's fucked.
So when Mash was like, hold on, Dot, if you can't hold on much longer, I'm gonna have to step in. And that's when the white-haired dude says, all right, I'll cut you a deal. 5 hits, you get a silver coin, and I won't bother the girl anymore. Dot's like, 5 hits, bro, that's light. 5 hits for you and your friend. Dot's like, I'll take the 5 hits from him. 1 hit. Dot show.
This is why Dot is goated, bruh. He is gonna stand 10 toes no matter what's in front of him. Is he a fraud and kind of a bum? Yes. Until.
Showing us how much of a fraud he is.
I'm just gonna say until and leave it at that.
Wait, hold on, I was hating. Cue the hero music.
Boom, boom!
10 and for the
Took 'em all! Bitch! Took it again!
And then he gets hit again when he's on the
Butch!
ground.
So I'm writing an essay
Fuck off.
on cats. Cats
Why?
in art history. I'm an art
That's
history.
kind of cool, I guess.
Whoa. And Dot saying, yo, take the girl and run. Turns out the girl is on the guy's side. Now, I know not only is Dot's stomach hurting right now, but his chest is hurting
Bruh.
too. His heart right there in the center. Mash throws a cream puff at his mouth and says 10 hits. Let's get it over with. Silver, the gray hair guy, and yes, I've been saying white hair. I don't know why, but he picks Dot up and says, I'm gonna have to kill you for burning my coat. But when he goes for the slam, Mash pulls up, but Silver sadly attacks. Silver hits Mash in
Damn.
the gut head on with one of his
Damn.
spells. Then he starts move spamming the same spell over and over, just attacking Mash until Mash decides I'm tired and he catches the pillar. Rock.
Catches
But
that
then
doll.
that's when Mash locks in and does what he does best. He says triceps magic ballista knuckle. Mash runs through weaving each and every attack.
Weave,
he decides it's time to start breaking them.
Bitch,
And when
bitch,
he gets
bitch,
to Silver,
bitch,
he breaks the
bitch.
final one. Hits him with a mean
Big
punch to the face, turning
fuck.
him into a whoopee cushion and sends him
Boom.
back. He knocked him off his feet.
Skipped
for him to
his
land
ass.
back on that. Silva starts leaking mad amounts
Did
of
he flip my man off? What are you doing flipping my man off, my man to Mash off? Who do you think you are, you
But
bum?
Mash was just walking up, no emotion on his face like usual, but this is somehow different. Silva's like, all right, bet, that's a fluke. I'm gonna kill you with this next attack. Mash clutches his fist. He then plants his foot.
Plants
he takes
it.
his fist back and breaks clean through
Bitch!
the magic, hit him in the gut. Gave him a backpack from the shockwave of the hit. Silva saying, yo, I can't take anymore, count me out. Mash walks away and sits down. He tells
I'm recording, right? It would be so embarrassing if I wasn't recording. Yeah, I am. 25 minutes. Goddamn.
him, that's 2. We got 8 more to go, buddy. Silva's saying I'ma die if I take one more. But that's when a scorpion pulls up. Silva's like, oh, he's too weak to kill one of those. You know, when that's killing him, I'ma get out. Mash slaps it to the moon like Saitama did to the mosquito. The girl starts saying, I'm sorry, I didn't know any better. And that's when Mash pulls up and gives her a hug.
Aw, how sweet. Now he's under her control.
Then body slam.
Fuck!
She thought she finally charmed him. And Mash says, I don't discriminate. Everyone can catch these hands.
These hands are rated E for everyone,
Silva was
bruh.
working with Lang, and Mash finally got his first gold coin. And obviously, with Mash being Mash, learning about the Magia Lupus being the head of Lang to stay away from them, he gets lost in Easton and ends up taking their door and walking inside their room. The head of these goons is saying, why do you want to be a divine visionary? And he says, to live in peace with my dad. You know, some calm. And obviously he didn't like this response. He said it was admirable, but no, we're supposed to be the most powerful. We're supposed to be at the top of the world, not just live in peace with our pops. So he tells Mash, I'ma tax you. Before you leave this room, you're gonna need to give me that gold coin. So he uses a dummy to attack him, but Mash weaves the attack, grabs his face with both of his legs and slams him to the ground. And after the strings detach, we find out that it's Silva from before. But a bigger dummy pulls up and grabs onto Mash. He can't even move. Takes his gold coin and throws it to the leader, and then slams Mash against a pillar.
Is what he thinks,
But
bruh.
Mash gets up. He picks up Silva and says, I'm taking him to the hospital. We need to get out of here. The leader's like, you don't want your coin back? Alright, you're scared. Mash says, nah, I'd win. And he says, I'll see you around, and he leaves. We find out that when Mash got his coin taken, he bit a button off of the dummy,
button,
spit it at the
spit
coin,
it
and
out.
used his lung capacity to suck the coin into his mouth.
Bro, he's so
the leader got
it's so
played for a
creative.
fool.
I
But you
love
remember
it.
when Mashle punched that one dude and the other dude he was connected to, I already forgot their names, but one dude was like
Their
a
names
higher
don't
up in the
matter.
school, and then he was like,
The only names that matter are Big Mash, Big Dot, and the gravity dude that I forgot his name.
friends with the dude's family. And yeah, basically Mashle did not get off for that. He had to clean some building filled with owls, a barnyard. I don't know what this is. But 2 Magia Lupus members pull up on them in the process. One sends Mash straight to the ocean, and Mash can't swim. And the other has a big shuriken moving like he's Sheik from Zelda. He thinks he's a ninja, and he's cooking Lance. And the reason Lance can't really fight back is because of all the owls behind him. He's trying to protect them and make sure they don't get harmed.
Yeah, that's my guy, bruh.
He uses his gravio magic to knock a shovel down to cut open the feed bag, so all the owls start swarming over there. And then Sheik decides to attack, but he uses his gravio magic to get his shurikens out the way. He's like, bet, I'll up that big shuriken on you. He uses his gravio magic and pins him and the shuriken to the ground. Then on Mash's side of things, he's telling the
Mash cooks up this shark so badly, bro.
shark thank you, because he learned how to swim in the process, and he starts beating the shark up with French strokes, moving.
Imagine being this guy, right? Fuck, dude, I
Like
can't
Michael
waste time.
Phelps mixed with Saitama
Bitch,
right
bitch,
now.
bitch,
And
bitch.
then Lance says if there's 6th and 7th rank where it is hard to beat, you know where I'm going with this.
Kill yourself.
And then Mash says, yeah, nah, that
JK, bro, this is an awesome recap. It's making me relive the awesomeness that is Mashle Muscles and Magic.
John was like, and that's when this random dude with a mask pulls up, saying, I'm not a threat, I'm just here to collect the trash. Mash TPs, he's about to hit him, but this guy moves even faster. He takes the two Magia Lupus members and he's like, I'll see y'all later. But Lemon tells Mash and Lance that Tom is in the infirmary, so they go to check up on him. And they notice that he's looking drained, he's looking dry. He's telling them he can't use his magic, and he usually doesn't dream, but he had a dream last night and he was trapped in a box and couldn't do anything. And the rest of the patients in the infirmary are the exact same way. So Mash and Lance are like, yeah, we're gonna investigate this. And Lemon gives Mash a good luck charm before they go. She says, don't get into any trouble. They get into trouble. Lemon ends up becoming a dummy. So they follow her to the entrance of the Magia Lupus's hideout, and Dot's trying to blow the door open, can't do anything, useless Dot man. So Mash takes the statue of a knight and he hits the ground to prop open the door a little, and he puts the sword under it. He steps on the sword and sends the door flying floor after floor after floor, and eventually out of the
fucking
academy, and the door ends up being open. But then they're caught by this dude who isn't even a Magia Lupus member. He's just subbing in for one, and Dot wants to find him because he looks good, and Dot's getting cooked because he's a fraud. His explosions do nothing. He gets wrapped up and he's about to get slammed, but Dot clutches up. He had bombs on the ground. He lets off an explosion, freeing him from the vine, and the other
good move, Dot.
Dot's back to being
why is he
aura
farming?
Lance and Finn step forward. They end up stepping into some quicksand, some quick mud, whatever this is, and they get dropped down.
Just eat the cream puff, my guy.
And separated. Lance gets dropped down with the third fang. Finn and Dot get dropped down to the fifth and fourth fang, and Mash casually gets paired up against the second fang. So while Lance is fighting Mud Dude, he's getting cooked at first. He gets his legs pinned to the ground. He uses his gravity to send him sideways into the wall, and that's when he decides to tap into his inner realm, his Shikai world. But Lance is still using gravity to pick up rocks and attack him through it. Mud Dude's like, alright, you think you've won? You didn't. He takes a sip of that purple potion. Then he summons a giant mud monster, and Lance is like, alright, bet. Second magic, tears that junk apart in a heartbeat. Tells him I'm superior to you. We had similar upbringings.
Bro, Lance is so fucking tough, bro.
I may have not liked you because you're worthless, and you're still worthless, but hey, buddy, things are brighter on the other side. Then we see Mash's forward close yet again. He's warming up, and Mash then dashes at the second fang, hits a spin move midair, kicking him flying back. The second fang then starts bullying him though, cutting him so fast he can't even react.
Yeah, his powers are bullshit.
It's moving different, and he then starts cutting Mash in ways Mash can't even comprehend until he decides to stab him, but he gets his sword stuck. Mash is like, I got you, finally. And headbutts him and ends up breaking the mask off of his face. He then uses his second magic and pops a domain expansion, slowing Mash down, and dashes in for a barrage of cuts saying, you're not gonna touch me again. And that's when Mash slams his hand on the ground, creating a trench so the second fang can't get away. He steps in for a slow motion punch and ends up breaking his sword in the process. He then uses his feet to latch onto him. He says, yo, you're not going anywhere. Clinches so hard he starts bleeding and hits him with a chest check out of his domain. Mash runs over just to jump and hit him, sending him back through his domain. The second fang catches himself and sends himself at Mash, and Mash ends up grabbing his sword. He then hits an 1800 degree spin backhand, sending him into the wall. Don't quote me on the math, that was a lot of spins. Mash ain't letting up. He hits him with a kick back through his domain, flash step into a punch through his domain. Guess what? Another kick outside of his domain. And for the final move, he decides to take it to the WWE. He grabs him, he spins him through the domain, suplexes and destroys his fucking domain. About your sad backstory, who cares about your evil eye? All that matters is how I think about you. And oh yeah, your master first fang is about to get a beating by yours truly. But then we cut back to Dot and Finn. They're going against the fifth fang right now, Love. And she asks Dot, yo, do you love me? You trying to get with me? He's like, nah. You know, Lemon's the one for me, even though she's not. So she basically tries to kill bro, and she tells him right now, you gotta beat me in 30 minutes or your mushroom head friend, he's cooked. The fourth fang will turn him into stone because he triggered the trap. And then we see a little bit of Dot's backstory. He got bullied as a kid. No wonder he wants to be the main character so bad, because he was the side character.
Yeah,
he was the throwaway character. So then he pops back up and gets out of her spell in a heartbeat. He got a cross on his forehead.
But now is when he goes on demon time. A&W has a fuck off, A&W.
Deals menu, so you can get grass-fed beef for under $4.
Fraud. It's called Ira Cruz or Ira Crud. I don't even know how you pronounce it, but he's moving different. But that's when he starts simping.
Aura Cuddy.
She gets to swooning for him, and the fourth fang pulls up and almost kills Dot. But then Rain Ains pulls up with his partisan magic, and he starts cooking. The fourth fang starts stepping on him, kicking him. And yeah, Dot and Finn are saved. Rain tries to test Mash's magic, but he stops each and every attack. No magic. Stopped it with 2 fingers, made a throne out of his sword. Started playing baseball, bunting his swords. He's going to first base. I'm not saying that again. But then he says, go get him, Tiger. Beat that dude for us. And Mash finally makes his way to the
Yes,
first
he
Fang
will.
Abel. He tells them weak people they shouldn't be on this earth because they just take advantage of the stronger people who protect them. And Mash is remembering his dad. He's like, no, we're trying to live in peace. So I'm gonna have to cook you now. He sends silver puppets at him filled with acid and Mash is breaking through each and every single one. He then takes the head of one of them and hits a strike mid-fight. I know Mash bowls a perfect game, no glaze. He then sends multiple dummies of the one before that Mash couldn't even break his grip and Mash one taps them, sending them into the hole. He then turns Mash into a puppet and makes him start beating himself up. And when he starts making Mash choke himself, he's like, hold on, that's not chivalrous, that's not knightly, that's loserish. Is that even a word? I think I just made that up.
Yeah,
he's
his powers
that's not
are
cool.
bullshit,
So let me
but-
just use your friend to fight against you because I know you're not about to hurt him. So Finish is there cooking Mash up. He's tearing him up, but Mash is just sitting there taking it. He's not doing anything about it. But he takes his gold coin and he flicks it through Finn's string, saving him from the puppet tree. Abel then
Good
puts strings
shit,
on
bruh.
Mash yet again, but Mash is resisting the strings, breaking his fingers in the
Broke
process.
his fucking
and he
fingers.
dashes in and hits him
Dashes
with a
in,
knee to the
bitch!
face. But that's when his hand starts turning into a doll, and he eventually
I
becomes
thought it was GG's when
a
this happened,
full-on doll. It's
genuinely.
looking like Mash
I had
is
no
cooked,
clue
but that's
how
when
he's
Abel
gonna
takes his
get
cream
out of
puff
it.
out his jacket and gets a mean punch to the jaw.
Bitch!
Abel's like, yo, hold on. This is supposed to cut off your nervous system. How are you still moving? This dude moved off of a reflex because the dude touched his cream puff. Yo, if that's not big backery, I don't know what is. So Abel's like,
It's not big backery, it's because cream puffs are peak, dude.
all right, you're a threat. I gotta wrap this up. So he uses his ultimate spell, summons a 3-headed gigantic doll. And not only just that, he's like, I'm gonna wrap you up in strings and turn you into a doll. So I'm gonna thank you for showing me that I shouldn't underestimate anybody. But Mash completely destroys the doll. And he also didn't get
Destroys
turned
that
into
shit.
a puppet. This man tilted his body down so he could feel the string right when it hit him. And he just tore the strings off of his body. Low-key Mash is dumb, but sometimes his battle IQ can be insane.
Bro, his battle IQ, he is one of the most creative uses of, like, super strength in, like, anything, bro. It is so cool.
But Abel isn't giving up. He's like, okay, my doll's still intact. So he goes in for one final attack and Mash hits a clean stance. He's like, yeah.
Weave.
And he breaks
Bitch!
clean through the doll. He flash steps behind
Flash
Abel.
step.
Just look at this stare. It's over for this man. And he grabs him.
Grabs
jumps to
his
the
ass.
side. He uses his erecte magic, however you pronounce it. And he flips him upside down and slams him into the ground.
Bitch!
First. Why is Abel still standing? He hit him so hard he went into a backstory. Talking about how his mom was rich, he was rich, and she gave to the poor. That's why he hated the poor. He didn't hate the poor because they were rich, giving to the poor. He hated the poor because a poor man killed his mom because she was rich, and he was like, why are you rich? This is what you deserve. But he's like,
Damn,
all
all
right,
right.
I'll free your friends. You beat me. Uh-oh,
Okay.
but somebody from Innocent Zero pulls up. Whatever are we gonna do? Mash knocks the
Bitch!
armor off his body. He's like, all right, let me see if you're using magic real quick. Everybody in the room finds out Mash isn't using magic. The Innocent Zero dude says, I'm out. I'll see you later. And the season's over. So after Mash is
Yeah, bruh. That was season 1, bruh. Season 1 was so cool, but season 2, it was also really cool. Hold on. Y'all need to... I don't care if I get copyrighted, bruh. Hold on. I jump to the best, I'm the best, oh yeah. Now singing bling bong bong bling bong bong bling bong bong bong. Now singing bling bong bong bling bong bong bling bong bong bong. Now singing bling bong bong bling bong bong bling bong bong bong. To the dance, to the dance Sunday. Oh, it's so cool, bruh. Season 2's opening is so fucking goated, bruh. It's made by the same people who made Don Don's first opening.
friends defeated Adler Lang and that Innocent Zero guy pulled up, the entire school found out that Mash could not use magic. And the thought of others knowing this turned Mash's brain into a fanboy and Chum Chum slushy. But Mondo from
Damn.
Danganronpa is screaming at Finn saying, no way you're friends with this magicless muggle.
Whack ass hair, bruh. Josuke's hair if he didn't rock that shit.
You gotta lock in, bro. But Finn's the GOAT. He stands 10 toes and slams him to the
That's
ground
my
with his
guy.
words, cause sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me like the Yellow Ranger from Power Rangers.
Damn.
But nah, it was just Lance for real.
Yeah.
He turned his hair into a Christmas tree.
This is crazy, bruh.
But now they're chopping it up, having a happy Thanksgiving. Lemon made Mash all the cream puffs he can eat, but she drops one on the ground. Guess what Mash does? Turns it to the vacuum from Luigi's mansion and sucks it up. He didn't care
Good shit, Mash.
care about the pathogens. He didn't care about the 5-second rule. He was not letting that touch the floor. But Razor explains to Mash, Innocent Zero is after your head. They put a bounty on you. You can run and you can hide, but after you displayed what you displayed, buddy, good luck. But then we find out that Abel also only got his third line through Vinsmoke Sanji methods. He's a genetically modified human. That third line he was not born with. He got it added to him for helping Innocent Zero. So now that he's chilling with Mash and Mash kind of went against Innocent Zero and Adler Lang as a whole, things ain't looking too good for Abel. Oh yeah, and Dotson a King Tut rap. But Mash got called up to the Bureau of Magic to be put on trial for not having magic. And the guy's saying, well, this is God's perfect world. Magic was created, the landscape was created, and since you don't have magic, I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna have to get you out of here. You're ruining the world. We don't need people like you, and we should make an 86 district just to send people like you there. But nah, we'll just kill you instead. But then we meet our first divine visionary other than Rain. Nikki Kaminari decides to test Mash because he's like, magic really is everything. Unless you can show us something greater than magic, you're gonna be getting killed, buddy. So he says, if you can light this candle without touching it, you're good. You're good in my books, buddy. So Mash takes his
I forget how he does this.
wand out. He puts it to the ground. He starts rubbing his hands so fast he creates
that
a
way.
fire tornado around him, leaving the judge and the divine visionary shocked. Because how is he doing this no magic? Why does
Because he's the fucking goat. That's why.
uses
Don't judge my man.
more fights? But that whole entire flame just to light that itty bitty candle like that. But that's when the other divine visionaries start walking in. She expanding every step before they enter the door. Gara attacks Mash, but Mash eats it like it's nothing. And this dude on the
Ate
far left,
that
he's
shit.
looking clean. I can't even hate
Yeah,
the cross
like,
necklace.
yeah,
He's
that is
rocking
a-
W
He has drip, bruh. He is so cool.
design. And the dude on the far right too with the sword, I like him too. He looks chill. Eyes closed. He reminds me of that dude from Hell's Paradise. I rock with him. But Gara's agreeing with
Nice.
everybody else. He's saying you gotta get out of here. I mean, you hid your magic and attended a magic school? That's gotta be a crime up there with the levels of I don't even know. It's just up there. That's all you need to know. But then the judge from before starts tweaking out, twisting his
And you considering this world is probably on the same level as like murder.
head, moving all different. That boy is Innocent Zero's property. You cannot touch him. We find out some weird thing is in his neck, and it feeds off of
Damn,
your mana
bruh.
and basically controls you. So he's being taken control of. He's being possessed, whatever you want to say.
Nice.
So while they're trying to figure out how to save him, Dinky's saying, as the hottest and smartest guy here, Mash rips it off his neck. They're calling him
What?
crazy because it takes over Mash in a heartbeat. But while it's in Mash's mouth, he uses his tongue to tie it like a balloon animal at a children's party and puts it on the ground. They should have let Mash slide after this, because magic or not, he just did that, something none of them could do, and they're still gonna try to slime him out after this, because Gara's telling him, you're gonna have to come with us, buddy. You are being detained. Mash stomps his foot into the ground. He's throwing an adult-sized temper tantrum saying, I'm not going. Gara speed blitzes him. He starts moving that sand drill to his head, but Mash looks, peep the reaction time though. If he really wanted to stop this, I feel like he could've. But Dinky pulls up, puts the wand to the back of his head and says, stop there. You gotta lock in. And before things escalate any further, that's when the headmaster and Rain both walk into the room. But Gara's still pushing for the evisceration of Mash, saying, I just don't care about your presence. I'm gonna be so real. You could be the president. You could be the king or queen. These are the rules. So Mash has to get taken off the map. But after he takes off his hat and bows and says, please, bro, like, please, bro, I need this. Gara still says no. Even Rain gets down on his knee. Gara still says no. But finally, the judge from
What a bitch.
before says, I still think he should be slimed out, just not so soon. And even though I don't really like lack magics, I mean, one just saved my life. So I don't care if I get fired, but I ask that you guys look the other way. And I forgot to add in that the headmaster didn't exactly want him to not completely be executed, but just have his execution date pushed. Because if they're this set on getting Innocent Zero on Mash's head, they got to keep him alive for information. Because we find out that back in his prime, his heyday, 1967, the headmaster ran the ones with Innocent Zero, and he was toe-to-toe with him. So they're like, I bet we're gonna keep him on a leash, but we'll let him go for now. But Mash says that's not enough. Like Rich and Mary, I want everything. He picks his fist up and slams it to the ground and says, I'll beat up Innocent Zero myself. He shook their whole palace with that punch, and we just see this dude look up with a red eye. Yo, Mash is stronger than Goku.
Old Spice Swagger's fresh.
I mean, I don't know about that, but like,
Freshness makes me smell good.
sure, buddy.
So coach thinks I'm slacking. So I took
I mean, my goat Mash would always.
Bro, Goku Glazers, do not kill me in the comment sections. I
Or me.
apologize for even making that joke. But after his entire court case, Mash and his friends decide to go shopping. Mash is working out. Lance is freaked out. I have no comment about this man's fit, but he needs to be locked up, put on a list. And Dot,
I don't know, bro.
Dot's just fly. I mean, I
I don't know how to defend that. He just really loves his little sister, but not like that.
was hating on Dot last video, but peep the baggy yellow jeans. Peep the crosses on the shirt on the Kaminari camiseta, man. He's moving different. I think
He got that
camiseta
shit
means gesture
on.
in Spanish. I'm taking Spanish if you couldn't tell, so you know I might start speaking in Spanish randomly in some of these videos. But Mash
I
and
do
his
not
friends just stop
understand
to play a
Spanish.
game. They
Please
tickle the
don't.
koala's nose and they'll shoot out like icicles so they can play darts. Mash shoots his completely backwards in Dot's head. I don't know how he's still alive. Dot's like, let me show you how it's done. Shoots it at Mash's head. Mash flash steps and puts him in an arm bar. But then they
Damn,
walk into
bruh.
a wand store, and to find your wand, you have to use magic to call it to you. Mash doesn't have magic, but he sees a wand on the ground. He's like, yo, what's that wand right there? Let me get that one. The shop owner's like, it's too heavy. Nobody can pick it up, but it's said to have elf water under there. You sprout that junk up, you can have the wand for free. But no way you could do it. Mash picks up the wand, and he gets the wand on the house. We see Gara just talking to someone chowing down on shrimp, and we see the person's face. It's a bisexual Marlin without the skull cap
Damn,
101.
bruh.
Gara's saying, yo, I need you to get this dude off the map for me. I know this isn't Hitman, but I need you to be mine. Marlin tells him, I need something that'll get me excited, and that won't get me excited. And Marlin's going on, and Gara says, well, he be able, no magic. Will that get you excited? Marlin puts the shrimp down and starts playing the piano from excitement, and Marlin has to let Gara know, I'm gonna get that dude gone. We also find out that Mash has 7 gold coins, and the selection for the Divine Visionary candidates is finally coming up. So Mash goes home to visit his pops, and he brought friends. His pops is happy. But then we see Margaret Macaron, aka Marlin, flying to Mash's house saying, yo, I'm about to crash this party. But swords start raining from the sky. Marlin comes to the ground, and from the forest we see walking out Rain Ames. We find
He
out
is
about
so
Marlin's
tough, bruh.
backstory about how Marlin cooked everybody in the tournament at the ripe age of 13 or 14 or 15. I don't know. It said 13 through 15. And Marlin's so hyped to fight Rain right now. Marlin busted out a piano with a snap. Started playing a whole beautiful song just to come to this
His fighting style is crazy, bruh.
scary face. But Rain readies his magic and Marlin does the same, and they clash with an explosion. We see Mash and his friends playing a board game. I don't know why they stopped us from seeing this beautiful fight, but it looks like they're playing the game of life with a volcano or something. Marlin and Rain are still going at it, and it's looking
God damn it, he rolled a 67.
even. Their attacks are
Fuck you, Dot.
canceling out each
You do
other's
like nothing for the rest of the show.
attacks. But
Probably not rest of the series. I haven't caught up with the manga, but like
Marlin raises
know.
the wand to the sky and says howling sounds, and Rain is on the ground in a heartbeat. But
Damn.
Marlin's gotta be cheating. How did Marlin steal Lance's magic and use it mid-fight? Margaret talks about not caring about worldly
Stealing
things.
my man's
Marlin really
magic.
just wants to run the fade for real, saying, Rain, you're not a threat. I'm not messing with you. I need Mash Burn Dead to run the ones with me, and then I'll feel satisfied. And oh yeah, Rain got bombs all around him. But after Rain hears Mash Burn Dead, he gets to talk and he's like, Mash? You got issues with my homie Mash? And then we cut to the headmaster explaining to this kid with an afro, saying, I'm sure you've heard of second liners. Yeah, you've heard of second liners? Alright, let me tell you about third liners. They're stronger than second liners because they got one more line. And Rain is the youngest to have a third line. Mash
okay, yeah, thanks. That's really obvious.
runs out to get some fresh air and ends up running into their fight. Rain tells Marlin, despite everybody going against Mash, the entire world hating him. Shoot, 2 days ago he was on trial. He still tries to change the world. That is his destiny. Marlin's like, I don't care. I just want to fight for real. You can shut up. Rain's like, I bet. I didn't expect you to get in
You gotta put respect on my man Marlin. Like he just wants to run the ones.
anyway. So Afro Kid asked the headmaster, is there anything else that makes a third liner, stronger besides having one extra line and so much extra magical power? The headmaster tells him, they can pull out the true form of their wand. Rain starts glowing and he pushes magic around him back. He says Aries and pulls out his true wand form looking like a trident. Then he says Black Partisan. Margaret tries to put up a shield
it's
to
so
block the attack, but
tough.
Rain splits
Bench.
clean through that barrier,
Boom.
clean through the trees, clean through the ground, clean through the earth. The animation here was beautiful, but Margaret and Margaret's goons are nowhere
It's
to be
so
seen.
goated,
And Mash is
bro.
like, thank you, bro. That was cool. You didn't really have to do that for real. But then we see Margaret, and Margaret got out of the attack barely unscathed, just a little cut. Should have eviscerated all of them. But it's the night before the
Yeah, but
selection
he
exam. We
dodged
see
it.
Dai. He's too hype. He can't go to sleep, moving like us when we were younger on Christmas night or the night before Christmas. Peak movie. But we see everybody being introduced to the selection exam, and Mash is the last one to walk in, but Gara stops him. He's like, as long as I breathe, bro, nobody will acknowledge you. You will always be trash, bubble gum under someone's shoe. Mash's
Fuck off.
muscles start talking to him saying, oh nah bro, yo, he's capping, bro. Yeah dude, you're the GOAT. So he puts his
True, bruh. His muscles be spitting for real.
back on. He says, yeah, after I'm done with this, me and you can run a one, I'll beat you up and I'll be good to go, continue on with my destiny, but I'll see you and he steps into the ring. But when they're explaining the rules of the first game, they have to find a key to escape. You know, the key's in a balloon in some fish's belly or something, and they gotta pop the balloon using magic. And they're being chased by Deader Vance. Good luck, y'all. So they get teleported into the ring with all the Deader Vance, and we see the shiesty sorcerer, if he decided to have a wand and actually try to cook up, oh wait, Deader Vance are immune to magic, so he's the first one out. And Finn's just being scared, but I mean, Finn's just being Finn. But the audience is trash talking, saying someone's already out in the first round. Bro, last year we had Rain Ames. This year we got Seth Curry. Literally, Finn is a perfect comparison to Rain Ames, with Rain being Steph and Finn being Seth. But we see Mash take his fist back and he punches the lights out of a Deader Vance. But we find out that the Deader Vance are Deadpool, Wolverine, whatever you want to call them. They can regenerate in a heartbeat, a demon from Demon Slayer. So Mash is like, all right, even I know I gotta run. So he starts running. But as he's running, he gets shrunk down to an itty bitty mouse. But the guy that shrunk him actually wants to work with him, and he's like, yo, I have a plan. He puts his finger up to his chin, gets to move.
I forget if this guy is chill or if he betrays him. It's probably the latter.
Like the thinker, the egoist, and Mash's brain flatlines because he can't handle that. While they're sneaking looking for the key, Mash trips, catches himself smooth criminal like Michael Jackson. So they find the balloon holding the key, but Mash touches it like a dummy and calls a Deader Vance to their area, so they gotta dash. But they then decide they have to blow up air somehow into the balloon, so Mash walks over to do it, and they call another Deader Vance to their area, so they gotta dash. So they end up breaking the bellows to try to get the key out, but all that happens is they broke the bellows, and now they don't know how to get the key out of the balloon. So Shrink Dude can actually make the stuff bigger, and he ends up enlarging the balloon. Mash starts in his weird tribal dance. He plants his hands down. He
plants his hands?
Oh,
and you're not. He makes a fucking tornado. He makes a tornado.
And expand the balloon more and more. The audience was hating before, but now their jaws are dropped. They don't know what to say. So his breakdancing ends up completely exploding the balloon, and we see the key fall from the sky. Shrink everyone's faces. I didn't know his magic worked that far out. Get it? Because a dude with Mash uses magic to shrink or enlarge things, and their faces are small right now. Carry on. We see Lance has a key. We see that Dot has a key. We see Margaret has a key, but guess who doesn't have a key? Finn doesn't have a key, so Dot's like, all right, bet, I'll help you, I guess. But Mash wants to give the key to the dude with the shrink ray, and he's like, nah, bro, you can keep it, man. I talked to Rain about you. You know, he said you were a chill dude, so I'm gonna hook something up. And he's trying to rush him along because he has a bad hunt, and that's when he gets damaged out of nowhere. You see this dude walk up. His name is Carpaccio from Orcador. And he's like, we're about to run it. Who do you think won? Put in your parlay right now. Put in your bets on Rain bet, and if you bet for Shrink Ray dude, you are wrong, because he walks out of the gate and falls, and we see the dude Carpaccio behind him. But we see this Carpaccio guy stepping on his head saying, yo, weaklings are useless. And that's when Mash says, you're gonna have to stop that, or me, I'm gonna punch you. So he calls for some water. He grabs it and tries to throw it on Mash, but Mash turns it into a protein shake. Says he can never miss a calorie. But before things get any further, the announcer says, break it up, and says, let's save the final for the next time. I know we all want to see it, so y'all can fight in the next game. We'll purposely put you on separate teams so you can fight. How does that sound? So Mash, Dot, and Finn are all on the same team. And for this next game, all three of the members have crystals, and you have to protect your crystals while smashing the other player's crystals. Mash and Dot both lose their crystals off spawn. So
yeah. Finn had to like fucking clutch up, bro.
Finn is the only one with the crystal, and when they go into the game, they get teleported to different locations, so Finn is all alone. GG's, bro. That's over from here. We get a random lore drop about 13 ancient wands that choose the caster that is most fit to use them, the strongest in the dimension. We see Finn plotting about how he's gonna make it out of this situation on his own, and that's when he hears noise on the
If Bedard and McDavid had ambitions to become mechanics, CIBC would be ready with a personalized plan.
other side of the wall. We see Carpaccio on a dude killed over like a dog. Carpaccio has a knife in his shoulder and he reaches for it and twists it, and we see the other dude on the ground take damage. New versus pro versus hacker. Carpaccio is saying, yo, if you're weak, bro, you gotta go. You're not supposed to be here. And he steps on his crystal, destroying it, and walks away. He was playing with
his fight with Mash is so fucking cool. You guys are not prepared.
The knife in his arm like he was playing Surge in the board game, taking tick damage like it's Minecraft. But Finn tries to hide, blending like a chameleon to the wall, and when he finally does it, stops his breathing, stops his heartbeat. He peeks over to see if Carpaccio is gone. Sigh of relief. Carpaccio's behind him. He summons some gigantic angel to stunt real quick. He says, oh, you're the dude who reclasses year after year, barely making the cut, bro. You gotta give up on your hooping dreams. You're not making it to the NBA. And Rain shouldn't waste his time messing with the system trying to get you to continue passing. You gotta just give it up. So Carpaccio says, I'll take that crystal from you now. It doesn't belong with you. But Finn is like, if I give him this crystal, Mash is cooked, and Mash has to change the world. So he runs in for the attack, damage out of nowhere. He's on the ground. Then Carpaccio
Bro.
says, I don't know what you're trying to do. You are not that guy. Just hand it over unless you want to end up like that.
But Finn
Over
stands.
there,
Well, he
we
doesn't
see
stand.
Mash running
But
quick,
he.
he's on the way. But then we see Margaret, and Margaret's talking about, oh, I guess the contenders are cool and all, but Carpaccio, he was blessed by one of the 13 wands. That's why we got that random lore drop. Margaret saying bless him. He's an unripe fruit, moving like Palm from Hunter x Hunter herself. Finn finally starts talking about magic, because I was thinking he's like, Mash, we haven't seen this dude touch his wand once. We haven't seen him say one spell. And that's when he points his wand to the sky and says, dangerous. Carpaccio looks up like, what? This dude has magic? And he runs. But when Carpaccio starts walking up, when he gets to a certain point, Finn says, change us. Or whatever he says, and Carpaccio is in an entire different room. But the reason he did it is because no one knew his personal magic, so he could catch anybody by surprise. But as he's running, saying, oh, I finally caught distance, I'm out of here, his leg gains a new injury. He steps on his leg, twisting it like that deer did to Finn, and I'm just like, damn, bro. I mean, that made me wince behind the screen. And he starts stabbing himself repeatedly.
Damn,
Finn is
damn,
taking
damn.
his attacks. How is he not passing out from losing this blood? Even the audience is
Because
saying,
he's
this is too much. Someone has to put us.
Because he's tanking that shit, bro. You can't. This is why I like Finn. He can be a little bit annoying at times, but he's also that guy.
Stop to it. Carpaccio's like, just hand it over, little bro. Finn starts having flashbacks of Mash and all of their other friends, and he says, I can't abandon my friends. He shoots a spell, it doesn't hit. He shoots another one, then gets split diagonally. We see Carpaccio with his blade in his chest. Carpaccio says, you shouldn't have messed with me, bro. I'm in a bad mood. You know, my girl just left me, so I'm gonna end this right here. You only made my day worse. He starts putting the blade to his neck, and Finn's not folding, even though he's staring death in the eye.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably start moving like this if, like, my girl left me.
That's when we see it.
Or just cry.
A step of grabbing a
bitch,
wall, and they replay it for us to see 3
Boom.
times. But Mash tells Finn sorry for being late, and as he walks away, he starts dripping blood. Yo, what is this, bro?
Pain is something I can't feel, mate.
What's that behind you?
You flipping twit. Look at the.
I already told you her name's Megan.
It's real gone. And anyone who thinks otherwise and tries to hurt me will have the pain flipped on them.
So he stabs himself in the leg, and Mash takes the damage as well. So Carpaccio tells him, ever since I was born, I couldn't feel pain. The wand chose me, and the angel lady in this little surgeon getup altered my life forever, so I can't feel pain all due to the Master Cane. And I would love to feel pain, don't get me wrong, but someone like you, a scrub, you cannot bring me any pain. I'm sorry. So Carpaccio stabs him.
Bro, this fight is
so
so
shoulder,
cool.
And Mash takes damage 2 more times, knocking Mash back once.
He's
then
just
twice.
tanking
Mash
that
gets
shit.
knocked back, planting his foot to fly in and punch Carpaccio in the face, but he only damages himself. Mash is just in there hitting full-on combos, knocking himself back with each and every single attack. He's going against the Great Wall of China right now.
Bro, I know damn well Carpaccio is thinking like, man, I would be so cooked if not for my bullshit ability.
Now, he is hitting some crazy combos though, I won't lie. Carpaccio says it again, if you don't have talent, you really just shouldn't be moving on this earth. I mean, look at Finn, for example. His older brother is Rain, and look at him.
He figures out a way, don't worry.
Dude's been a bum since middle school. Don't be like him. And Mash is like, yo, I see your point. But the fact that Finn could face his fears even though he knew he couldn't do it, that still makes him a GOAT. But to laugh at him like that, I can't let that slide. So Mash gets ready for the end of the fight, clutching his fist. He dashes in and he punches Carpaccio clean in the face. It knocks him back, but does it look like he cares? He dashes back in with a barrage of punches to his face. He's getting wrong with these combos. And Mash continues his barrage of punches, damaging himself, and even Carpaccio saying, yo, you may be fast and strong, but what are you doing? And that's when the goddess statue cracks. Mash cocks his fist back and goes
He's just overwhelming him.
The goddess statue continues to crack. He hits him with a mean uppercut on the ground, even making Carpaccio hop back. He's like, hold on, wait. I know I said I was ready to feel pain, but I think it's too soon. But Mash says, knowing you'll lose this fight, can you be like Finn and take that L like a man? But Carpaccio starts laughing because the goddess statue starts to transform. He's excited. He's like, this is the first time someone has ever cracked it, but it's only going to become more defensive. So the goddess statue throws syringes in the air and they come down at Mash, but Mash is dodging each and every single one. Carpaccio's still stabbing his shoulders, trying to hinder Mash, damage Mash, but Mash is still dodging every single one. That's when they stop and the smoke screen clears and the syringes.
This is aura, bruh. This is fucking aura. This is aura. Hold on. I'll make it thumbnail. Actually, since it doesn't show up in the video, why not? I'll make this, or I'll make this. There we go.
disappear. He takes his iron wand out for the first time that he bought at that shop. He starts sculpting it like SpongeBob with his own fingers moving different, and he turns it into a tennis racket. He starts throwing a ball up and down, up and down. And that's when Mash jumps up, hitting the tennis ball. We already know he's about to cook the goddess in some crazy way, and it hits the goddess head on. He's taking Carpaccio and the goddess statue to Wimbledon. Bruh. He starts having a rally with the goddess statue, just going back and forth, hitting his forehead with the tennis racket in the ball. And he's dodging each and every single fringe in the process. And the audience is going crazy. Carpaccio turns around to look at his statue. He's like, is it over?
These sound effects are crazy, bruh. Shout out to Big Key.
But that's when Mash hits it with the crit, runs up, jumps into the sky, and hits his ultimate statue and hits it in the forehead, completely destroying it. Carpaccio stunned. He doesn't know what to say. Mash says, you want to feel pain for the first time? Don't worry, I got you. Takes the tennis racket and slams it on top of his head. Iron wand, by the way. And Carpaccio survives this. Pool of blood on the ground, and he's moving like Gara, saying, is this my blood? Is this pain? Every time my heart beats, it spreads. But at least he's happy he felt pain, I guess. But we see Margaret and two randoms. Margaret saying, you guys
wild first introduction to pain right there.
Are only a ray, you cannot touch me. Cooks both of them in a heartbeat and takes their crystal and stomps on it. And after Margaret says to Mash, the ripening summer arrives with this terrifying face. Mash gets a feeling from Mike, his pet. He told him that Margaret is bad news. We see the shiesty sorcerer talking to Margaret saying, yo, mess up Mash bad. I mean, he made a fool of me. A dude with no magic is making it farther than me. Get slammed into the wall. Margaret saying, don't mess with my fun. I'm trying to see spring bloom. We see cool sword dude talking to the headmaster saying that he's the administration of magic at the Bureau of Magic, and he's like, yo, I checked out Margaret. Those files are insane. Mash is going to get cooked. So he decides to test Mash for himself. He asks Mash if he wants to play a game. Mash is like, no, I don't want to play a game with you, buddy. But then he says, if you win, you pass the exam. You're good. And then Mash is like, all right, I'll play the game with you, buddy. So he tells him it's a game of you look, you lose. And you have to dodge all while being in the circle. So good luck, buddy. So he points up and Mash looks down. But he sees an attack coming from the ground. So what does Mash do? He contorts his body and stares at him. Not looking up, though. And for the second round, he hits him with two directions at once, left and right. So guess what Mash does? He waits till the attacks are about to hit him. He punches both of them out the way, looking down. And for the final round, the sword guy pulls out his sword. He's finally using his weapon, but it's engulfed in black flames. Everybody's saying, Mash, you're in trouble. You gotta quit. So he throws his sword in the sky and says, oh yeah, if you look any direction that isn't down, you lose. He runs up, catches it, and starts attacking Mash. But Mash is weaving each and every single attack. And mind you, he can look every direction right now, but when that countdown's done, he better be looking down. So when sword dude is still swinging at him on the final number, he plants his feet into the ground, takes the ground out of the ground, jumping up, looking down. And then he comes back down to the ground safely. But then the owl flies up and takes his cream puff, so he ends up looking at it. And he loses the game. Well, the sword dude's
that's bullshit, bruh.
For real, he's like, you know what, let's just make it a tie. In your next battle against Margaret, you're probably cooked. You're probably not strong enough, but good luck. Also, this man Mash tried to take the attack from the sword head on, but he decided he had to dodge. That's why the sword dude is like, you're cool in my books. Join us on the other side when you get there. So before Mash and Macaron start their battle, Mash is like, hold on, I need to meet my calorie count for my workout. So he takes out a cream puff. Macaron's like, can I join you? Pulls out some shrimp and starts dipping in the tartar sauce. No stopping. Mash is like, yo, you can't do that. You're not even gonna be eating fried shrimp at that point. Macaron's like, what? Yo, fried shrimp only exists so we can eat tartar sauce. Even Dot's like, yo, Marlin's crazy.
You can just eat the tartar sauce, dude.
Won't lie. Based on the craziness scale, Marlin's at the top. This is gonna be a hard fight. So Marlin pulls out the wand, shoots a basic level spell at Mash, but when Mash goes to bump it like a volleyball, he notices it's a little heavier than usual. It feels like a bowling ball. So he gets taken aback into the wall.
Make a trip to Paris.
And gave me a fucking ad. This is why Marlin's a bitch. I'm already using Scotia.
But after the smoke clears up, he's gone. Out of nowhere, we see Mash running, and he grabs Macaron, taking Macaron into the sky. Hits Mash's classic spine magic, Hellfall, and slams Macaron clean. Boom! The audience is like, yo, Macaron just got one tap. Easy fight. But we all know that's not the case, because we see Macaron still there. But we also find out that Mash couldn't bump the attack in time, so he started running back at max speed and then dodged the attack. He's acting like he got hit with one of Razor's dodgeballs or something. But we see some dragons and some dudes in hoods flying, and the main guy's saying, I've kept you waiting. I'm sorry, Mash burned dead. Who is this dude? So Margaret starts auto-firing at Mash, but Mash is dodging each and every single attack, running on the walls, and when Mash finally decides to close the gap and go for a punch, Margaret catches Mash off guard, but they stop the fight. Margaret says, you're guarding something. You're not locked in. You gotta focus on the fight. Mash takes a cream puff out, and he's like, oh, wow. Thank you. You're letting me put this up. I bet. I'll go all the way out now.
He's
But
chill.
Margaret says, all
He's
right, it's
chill.
time to lock in. Show me what you're capable of. Margaret pulls out Sounds Fall. Mash tries to punch through it, but ends up getting his eardrum split in a second. I don't think split's the right word, but he's basically deaf. Margaret then says, you really thought you could block this type of magic? We're not gonna tell you. We're gonna show you. Margaret sends out another attack, and Mash tries to block it and gets knocked back. But before he can get his balance back, he gets hit with one more. Tries to get his balance back again and gets hit with one more. And then we see him spit blood from his mouth and blood.
Bro's listening to what's music that I don't like? Bro's listening to Drake. Bro's listening to P. Diddy.
Blood comes out of his ears. Even the audience is saying, oh, this is over. I mean, we know who's winning. And then Margaret says, it seems like you weren't my tartar. You're just the fried shrimp. So Margaret pulls out the finale attack, summoning an entire orchestra, a whole domain expansion, and starts playing music so loud it explodes Matt and sends a shockwave flying out of the stadium.
I'm in the
But when
thick
smoke
of
clears
it,
up, Margaret's like, where
everybody
did Mash
knows.
go? And a hand grabs Margaret's leg from the ground and pulls
Bitch!
Margaret underground. But we find out that right before the explosion hit, Mash dove underground and started
Swan dived into that shit.
digging like a mole. He used the underground as noise-canceling headphones so the attack didn't reach him. So
Good
then Mash
shit,
takes his
Mash.
foot back and kicks Margaret in the face.
Boom!
Sliding across the stadium. Mash then jumps in the sky, lands down on Margaret, and starts wailing.
Boom!
Sword says the audience doesn't sense it. Mash gets a feeling and jumps back. Margaret says, I'll show you my true form. Unleashes a musical scale. We're seeing demons and all this stuff in this transformation. I'm not gonna lie, it's looking scary. And Margaret's just a kid now. We see Dinky in that.
Yeah, he's a Diddy disciple, bro. Don't make fun of my guy Lance. Make fun of this guy.
Afro Kid runs in saying Innocent Zero is on the move, and Dinky already knows that they're on the move for Mash. We go back to Mash and Margaret's fight, and Margaret is saying, let me show you something real quick. Snaps and is at Mash's ear, and a heartbeat blows on his ear. This is the equivalent of the Felix and Subaru moment. And Mash is on the ground in a heartbeat. Lemon thinks her first kiss got stolen. She's getting heated over there in the crowd. But Margaret starts pump faking Mash, just showing what the real form can do. Teleporting all around and not hitting him though, just showing him the speed. But we see Mash just trying to swing at Margaret and just completely missing. Even Sword Dude saying, you gotta move quicker than sound to catch Margaret, cause you don't have magic, buddy. But Margaret starts hitting ABA combo, sending Mash up and then slamming him down into the ground. And after Margaret flash steps back and the smoke screen clears, but we see Mash slowly get up and put his hand on the wall. After Margaret congratulates Mash saying, oh, you really are strong, but it's over from here. Margaret snaps and starts running in at the speed of sound. Margaret goes in for a kick, but Mash dodges it at the last second, and Margaret only hits the wall. But we find out that Mash put his hand on the wall to feel the sound so he could dodge before Margaret hit him. But Mash steps back to go in for the attack, and Margaret tries to snap again, but Margaret has tartar sauce all over the hands. So Mash hits Margaret with a mean clothesline straight.
Boom!
Margaret is not up, but Margaret gets back up. And Lance is even saying Mash has not seen Margaret second. I think Mash is cooked, but Margaret pulls out the wand and says, sound second, death gone. And the animator's locked in real quick, so we gotta appreciate this scene. I mean, it's beautiful. Margaret tells Mash
so
in 1 minute it will incapacitate anyone who hears it over a 2-kilometer range. And the only way to stop it is to get my wand. And you're not doing that because I can move at the speed of sound. So Mash is trying to catch Margaret, but obviously he can't because Margaret is just moving too fast. Even Margaret is counting down the timer before the bell will ring and Mash will lose the match. But as Mash crashes into the ground and only has 10 seconds remaining, he puts both of his fists into the ground, using the same move Gon used in Heaven's Arena but at a greater capacity. And Mash runs through the wall breaking. Margaret doesn't know what direction to go, but Margaret peeps that Mash went to the left, so Margaret goes to the right, but it was just a feint. Mash dashes at Margaret, but Margaret's moving too quick. Margaret's gonna make it out. Mash catches Margaret's
grabs his ass
pinky finger. He pulls Margaret back and slams Margaret to the ground, grabbing Margaret's wand and breaking it. And as
break
result,
that shit
goes away. But this is only the 7th episode. They feel some weird sort of spiritual pressure, and the sky cracks and we see Innocent Zero come flying through.
Here he
Innocent
comes,
Zero
bruh.
completely stops time and walks up to Mash and says, my son, starts caressing his face all crazily. And he's like, all right, it's time to go home, Scout. But Wahlberg teleports to the spot and says, no, you ain't taking it.
Oh, their fight is so good, bruh.
But we see a bunch of randoms in Innocent Zero, and Innocent Zero is the name of the leader of Innocent Zero, and he's saying, Mash is a part of my family, so what I say goes. Wahlberg's like, nah, I'm not giving bro up. He pops his 2 lines like it's a Bankai. The chi expanding with both of their wands. Innocent Zero summons some zombies cool. Wahlberg gets some students out of the time stoppage spell so they can fight. So obviously the students are cooking through the fodder, and Wahlberg teleports off with Innocent Zero because he can't get the students wrapped up in their match. But they tell Mash to go fight the core member of Innocent Zero, and it's the one we saw at the end of season 1. He's at the top of the tower, and guess what Mash does? He starts kicking the tower out like that one mobile cake game you play where you stack the cakes. That's how clean he's taking the tower until the top floor comes to the bottom. He doesn't remember who he is. He says, oh, you're the dude from the entrance exam, right? We find out that there was a man named Adam, and this man named Adam was the teacher of Wahlberg.
Y'all are not prepared for like what a top 5 MASH moments. A top 5 MASH moments. I'd say fight. But this ain't no fight.
Innocent Zero reveals himself. He has a blank face. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? But then he starts piecing his face together like it's Legos, and he uses a forbidden spell. But we see Mash fighting the Innocent Zero member. He starts talking trash, saying, after I'm done with you, I'm gonna cook your friends too. And Mash is getting flashbacks. So he uses his attack, Carbo Rain, but this man, Mash, is running on his attack. If you remember season 1, this man was punching them, and that's all he could do. But after Mash punches him, sending him flying and laying on the ground, he says, oh, I remember you. You're the spiky thorn dude. But your attacks are played out, bro. So like low-key, you're gonna have to do something new. But we find out more about
bro. When Mash okay, so basically, like whenever Mash sees like kind of magic, he kind of memorizes the magic and like every possible way that he can deal with it. So, oh, it's so cool. So you can't fight Mash more than once because you will get cooked every single time afterwards. Oh, it's so good.
Adam Jobs, and in his past, he used to run the Magic Realm. But as he stopped fighting, as he got out of his prime, he started showing support to people with no marks. So he was a W man, and he passed these ideals on to his 3 pupils. And I don't want to give this dude any screen time because he's ugly, and I don't want to keep looking at him. But basically, he's a puppeteer, and he has control of the Adam body because Innocent Zero found out a way to keep the body there, but it doesn't have his same psych, so it's really just a puppet for real. I'm talking 4th grade Ninja War, those type of things. I guess they kind of did have their own psych, right? If I remember right, it's been years since I've seen Naruto. But he's hitting him with all the dark magic attacks that Adam had in his bag. But yeah, Wahlberg basically pops his ult and erases space and erases the guy using Adam and erases Adam himself. Mash asks the Innocent Zero member he's fighting, so why exactly does Innocent Zero want me so bad? He's like, easy, you're his son. There's 6 of his relatives and he needs them to all come together so he can have the perfect body. And he's like, honestly, I don't know why he made you one of his sons. I'm kind of jealous. And Mash is like, yo, bro, I don't want to live like this. So he takes a nap mid-fight. So while the
taking a nap mid-fight,
Innocent Zero member is getting heated, Mash pulls up and punches him mid-talk. He's even saying, yo, you just punched me mid-dialogue. Let me finish my sentence at least. But he pulls out the true form of his wand, and he's sending these 2 metal discs spinning at Mash, but Mash is dodging each and every single one, of course. I mean, sure, it may have cut him a little, but what's that cut gonna do? Get infected? He's moving like a ballerina out here on this field. We find out that this will track him until it eventually cuts him down. And the Innocent Zero member says, if you run, I'm going to use these black diamonds.
This is you. Wait,
no, it's not.
This is you.
Also not me.
And you want to conquer the world of Albion?
I'm chill, bruh.
Cut down each and every single person in your school. So now you gotta fight me. I mean, and you can't even break these things. They're diamond tip. Mash sees the metal discs flying at him and he turns his back, and the minute it touches his coat, he's gone. Innocent Zero member's like, what? So does he really want his friends to get slimed now? I mean, I didn't think he'd actually run. But he appears behind him and he whispers in his ear, I looped around the whole school. I can coat my body in diamonds. So basically, when these blades come back and they finally catch you, they're going to kill you and not me. And that's when we see blood splatter and Mash is on the ground flat. The Innocent Zero member steps on his head thinking he won the battle. Mash's head becomes a cream puff. Mash gets back up and starts stuffing his face with cream puff. I'm not gonna lie, cream puffs. Confused. But then we flash to the real world and we see that Mash choked him out so he could get the attack on his time. And he tells him, if you ever try to mess with the school again, I'm gonna have to choke you out again with my muscles. Acting like he can hear it, like he's not on the ground passed out, foaming at the mouth.
Bro, he's I think he's dead. I think you gave him CTE.
Dinky makes it to the battlefield and they all group back up in the arena and they find out that Mash defeated one of the Innocent Zero core members. So they try to attack him and he shielded and he gets teleported away. Innocent Zero and Wahlberg are going at it. If they were near the school, it would be awesome. Damn. Flash steps behind Innocent Zero, but he caught the attack. He's behind him and he hits him with a times rewound. Wahlberg is looking like Two-Face. He got his arm burned, his face burned, he's cooked. We see a flashback of a younger Wahlberg and he's saying, I was weak as a kid. I wasn't good at magic. I wasn't good at school. I didn't even have friends. I didn't even go to school. But Adam came to my house each and every single day trying to get me to go to school, telling me random animal facts that I didn't really care about for real. But all Adam had to say to Wahlberg was, I can't leave you alone. So he pops his domain expansion, his ultimate attack. I know I said he popped it before, but this is his true ultimate. Innocent Zero stops the entire attack and it stabs Wahlberg. But the spell continues. Wahlberg stored up enough magic to create this spell, so even if he dies, the spell could still go off. But Wahlberg starts hyping everything up. They're even playing happy music to get us going, saying I do all this so everybody can live in peace. And he specifically talks about MASH, and the attack shines brightly for everybody to see. But then it starts shrinking and they're like, whoa, it's supposed to grow bigger, you know, as the spell goes on. So what's going on here? Innocent Zero reversed the entire spell and sends more attacks at Wahlberg.
That was just such bullshit.
Wahlberg is holding his ground. He's attacking, but one spell slips through, knocking his wand out of his hand. And as he starts to fall down, Innocent Zero catches him by the head. And Innocent Zero puts a spell to his head, and Wahlberg's giving up. He says, oh, if I'm gone, Destiny's gone. We're all cooked. But that's when we see Mash pull up and knee Innocent Zero in the face, knocking him off of Wahlberg. The other students that weren't frozen in time told Mash to go find him, but they said without magic, I mean, you're not gonna find him. They were low-key hating. And then Mash says to Wahlberg, you remember the entrance exam? You asked how I would win a fight against somebody stronger than me. I knocked the stuffing out of it. But then they kill all his chi by showing us how he's flying. Innocent Zero stills Wahlberg's
Nah, bro, he still got all the aura.
magic, then flexes real quick, destroying the mountain, showing him the difference in their power. But Mash goes in for a full combo on Innocent Zero. I mean, he's cooking him up, hits him with an overhead wham. Innocent Zero looks at him like, really, bro? No damage. Mash goes in for another punch, but gets his fist caught. Breaks the grab and goes for a kick, but gets his foot stuck. Uses his other foot to bounce off the magic so he can get back. But Mash tells Wahlberg, if I be someone as despicable as him with my own fist, everyone will accept me. Innocent Zero says that's cute, but his body starts tweaking because his body can't handle all the magic that he has in his body. So he's like, I'll leave y'all with a gift, but I'm out. He takes all the demons away from the arena. We think everything is great, but he fuses them into one giant demon. Dinky pulls up to save Wahlberg, and he's like, no way, Mushroom Head was here? That's why he's the GOAT. He's second after me, and we see him running back to the school. The monster knocks rubble in the sky, and it's about to land on all of the students. Since the time stoppage magic is gone, they're about to see their deaths. Balance is freaked out, but I guess his sister saved the students, so I guess that's cool. He used Gravio magic to stop it, but they all try to attack the monster itself, but magic doesn't work against it. There's a barrier, and they suspect that someone put up a barrier nearby, so they're trying to find the Innocent Zero member that put it up. But the students that are trying to escape as well, they run into a barrier and they can't leave the arena. Everybody thinks it's all.
And who's the one person
all over
that doesn't need magic,
bruh? Out. Even Lemon saying I haven't gone on my honeymoon yet. The monster starts getting dragged back, and we all know it's not walking back. And that's when Finn and
who's the one person
the other students
that doesn't use magic?
Let a dude with no magic save us. I mean, what's going on here? Could he really be at the top of the school? He has no magic. But that's when this one random student says, "Does that really matter? I mean, dude's saving our life right now. He's the only person who could fight the monster." So everybody starts saying, "Go Mash!" Everybody starts cheering.
Beat his ass!
Not until Finn screams out, "You can." I believe in you, Mash. And that's when Mash locks in. He steps back, hits a whole 180, and swings the monster over his shoulder. Swings the monster
so long, gay Bowser.
Making it go through 2
boom,
mountains.
boom.
And it just randomly explodes on
boom.
Michael Bay. And he eats his classic cream puff. And even Dinky tells Wahlberg that Mash did it. His name isn't Dinky, by the way. I mean, it's Rio, but I've just been calling him Dinky because I don't know why. And they try to make this episode all happy and sweet. It's a beach episode. Least fan service beach episode I've ever seen, by the way. Absolutely peak. But Wahlberg,
no fan service whatsoever, bruh. That's why I love Mashle.
Tells them they're gonna have to go against Mash's other 5 brothers, and we know that's gonna be in the future seasons. But Mash has to study to pass his final exams, and Mash isn't the smartest, so everybody helps him study, everybody helps him get locked in, and he's locked in until he runs away to bury himself. But then he gets locked back in, and he ends up passing his exam. There's also a newspaper that goes around talking about Innocent Zero's attack, but they pass it off as the Divine Visionary's victory. They find out it was Mash, so they storm Easton Academy when they find out that they're hosting a lack magic, and they're talking smack. Lemon's going to war for Mash. Dot's his agent. He even flips him off saying, I'll kill you if you mess with Mash.
That's my guy, bruh. That's my guy.
So that's when this ugly dude starts talking trash, saying, if I turn this lack magic in, I'll be rich. He throws a stone at Lemon. Mash gets heated. They start throwing a barrage of stones, but that's when Mash pulls up and starts catching the stones like it's nothing. The ugly dude summons his magic to trap Mash and says, oh, monsters get subdued by this. You're cooked. Mash pokes out of it with his fingers, right? He grabs it and throws it at the guy. It lands perfectly around the guy at the door. But that's when Wahlberg appears and says, don't worry, we'll get this all sorted out soon. And Mash says his classic line to close the season, whatever comes my way, I'll knock the stuffing out of him. Low key,
that's my goat, bro.
I think I like season 2 a little more than season 1.
They're both goated. Hello, Mash. This is peak fiction.
No, maybe that's just me. I can't wait for season 3. I'm not gonna keep
I
y'all.
can't wait for if there's this. Oh, there needs to be a please, and get Creepy Nuts on the intro again, bro. Get him on the intro again. Oh fuck, dude. Fuck, dude. Next Sunday. Now singing bling bang bang bling bang bang bling bang bang born. I'm singing bling bang bang bling bang bang bling bang bang born. I'm singing bling bang bang bling bang bang bling bang bang born. Is he doing the Sieg Heil?